Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and today, we're going to be ranking all of the Pink Floyd albums, or all the studio albums from, best to worst, or worst to best. Well, I mean, there's no order, we're just going to go in the order of when they came out. Now, you might have noticed this on my second channel. Second channel is just going to be for literally random uploads like this. I wanted to do this. I've seen heaps of people do this, and I've never really done it myself. And to be honest, my opinion will probably change in a few months, maybe a year. But I feel like as of now, my opinion on their albums have stayed pretty much the same within the past year or two. What I do want to say though, before ranking any of these albums, is I love all of them. I personally love every single Pink Floyd song, even like the really, really bad ones. I love Pink Floyd, and they're my all-time favorite band. Does that mean I think all of their albums are good? Absolutely not. There are some really bad albums, however, I love listening to them because I just love Pink Floyd. Okay, so I've just I've just did this again. I was looking through all the sort of names on the side and I was like, there are a bit too many. I feel like we should bring it down a bit. So we got S, A, B, C, D, E, and F. Right, obviously being S the best and F the worst. Now, how I'm going to rank this is I'm going to put what I think is their best album and not what my favorite is. And obviously this is my opinion. So yeah, let me know on what other bands or what other things I should do for this channel, because there's a lot. I kind of want to do a bit of music stuff on the channel, so we'll see. Anyway, let's just get started. The Piper at the Gates of Dawn, released in 1967, their first studio album. No David Gilmour, which David Gilmour was my all-time favorite guitarist. So this album isn't super high for me, but it's definitely not to say that it isn't good. There are a few songs in this album I do like. Interstellar Overdrive. I like Bike. That's really about it. I don't know. I think it's definitely a solid first album, but it's very... what's the word? It's very timed. There's no... It's not timeless, is what I'm trying to say. It's very, yeah. I think, honestly, we're just going to go straight down the middle and put it into C. It's not terrible. It's not great, though. I know some people really love it. Like, honestly, it's one of those albums that people either just really, really love, or just don't have any feelings towards it. The next album is A Saucer Full of Secrets, released in 1968, with David Gilmour, and they still had Syd Barrett in it. So, it's the only album I think they had where it was 5 members, and the rest have been 4 and 3. So, yeah. I definitely prefer this album more than Piper at the Gates of Dawn. There's a lot of songs on this album I do like. Pretty much all of them, if I had to say. I'd say I actually probably like all of the songs on this album, except Seesaw. That's the only one apparently I haven't liked, or haven't got liked. My favourite song on the album is Jug Band Blues. I like Remember a Day. I even like the instrumental A Saucer Full of Secrets, so honestly, it's still not amazing. I like this album, but I don't think a lot of people do. I think they actually prefer Piper at the Gates of Dawn. However, I don't know. Like, this... For me, I personally think it's better than this, so I'm going to put it there. The next album is More, released in 1969, and it was a movie soundtrack. This album, as much as I do like listening to it, and there are a few songs on the album that I do like, this album is garbage. This is a terrible album. And apparently, I haven't seen the movie, but apparently the movie's pretty bad as well. So yeah, I like the first song. I like Green as the color. I like Symbolize. That's about it. There's not many other songs. Oh no, I like the Nile song actually. That's about it. Everything else is like, it's bad. It is so bad. And I don't know how much creative control they had over this album, considering it was a film soundtrack. They might have been a bit more limited to what they could have done. I'm not actually sure, but definitely, honestly, F. It is, yeah, it is not good. It is not good. Umaguma, released also in 1969. This one's an interesting album because it's half live and half studio. The live part is pretty good. The studio part is very, very questionable. Like I said before, there are some songs that I do like on this album. The Narrow Way Part 2 is pretty good. Grantchester Meadows, I quite like. However, there's some interesting other ones on here, such as several species of small furry animals gather together in a cave and grooving with a pick. I personally, I actually don't mind the song, but that is such a bad song. It's not even a song; it's just noise. So, yeah, another F. Not looking too good so far. Adam Heart Mother, released in 1970. I don't mind this album. I'm not too big on Alan's Psychedelic Breakfast. The other songs I'm okay with. I'm not really too big into Adam Heart Mother, the first song. It's 23 minutes of just nothing really, like just noise. There's no singing, there's nothing. Like, it's fine, it works, but yeah. I actually quite like If on this album. It's definitely my favourite song on the album, and actually probably one of my favourite Pink Floyd songs. I definitely think it's better than these two, but it's definitely not as good as this one. I'd probably say there. I think Pink Floyd, like every Pink Floyd member has all ultimately agreed that that's probably their worst album, which is interesting actually. Okay, here's where it gets interesting, and here's where it gets good. Metal, released in 1971. Honestly, like, it's pretty fucking good. It is a good album. My favourite song, I mean, I think this is probably Pink Floyd's best song, is Echoes from this album. Every song on this album is good, even Seamus. Like, people think that that's not a good song. Honestly, I quite like it. There's not a whole lot to say about this album, but it's probably their best so far that we've ranked. And it is pretty underrated compared to a lot of their other albums. So definitely go listen to it if you haven't. The next album is Obscured by Clouds, released in 1972, which is also another film soundtrack. This album is a lot better than More for a film soundtrack. And honestly, I think it's an underrated album. So much that I'm going to put it in A. A lot of the songs on here I like. I think the only one that I didn't like is Absolutely Curtains, which is the last song. I think that's the only song on the album I did not like. I think everything else is pretty good. There's not a whole lot to say about this album. It's just because it got put between Metal and The Dark Side of the Moon. it was definitely overshadowed a lot. So, and because I think it was probably also a film soundtrack, that didn't help its case whatsoever. But definitely an incredible album. My favorite song is probably I like 3-4. I also like What's the Deal. So yeah, even Stay. I like Stay. That's good. Okay. I mean, we all saw it coming. I mean, yeah. The Dark Side of the Moon. Honestly, there's nothing that I can say that hasn't been said about this album already. It is, honestly, it might even be the greatest album of all time. And that's not even crazy to say. Every song works on this album. They all seamlessly flow into each other, and for an album from 1973, I mean, it still blows my mind on how good this is. Like, it sounds like an album that could have come out today, you know? So, I mean, it's just incredible. It is such an incredible album. My favorite song from the album, I like Time. I like Any Color You Like. That's probably about it. You know what one song I don't like from this album, though? I don't really like A Great Gig in the Sky. Yes, I know, I'm different. But, I don't know, I just can't really get into that song. Alright. Wish You Were Here, released in 1975. Arguably, I think it's better than The Dark Side of the Moon. So, yeah. Not a whole lot to say about this album either. I guess rest in peace, Syd Barrett. That's really all I need to say about this album. But it's incredible. I mean, down to the cover art, all of the songs. I wasn't too big on Welcome to the Machine. It's good, but I wasn't too big on that one. Shine On You Crazy Diamond was just out of this world, and I Wish You Were Here is just incredible, and Have a Cigar is just awesome. Like, yeah. Animals, released in 1977. This is one of the albums that people will say it's underrated, but they'll only say it's underrated if it's a non-Pink Floyd listener, or like a very basic Pink Floyd listener. But honestly, like, it's going in S. Actually, yeah, no, it's going in S. There's not a whole lot to say about this album either. It's only really 3 songs, because the first song and the last song are like just over a minute long. Dogs is one of my all-time favorite songs. Not my all-time favorite, but one of my all-time favorites. I'm not too huge on Pigs. Sheep is okay. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I changed my mind. I was just thinking about it. Dogs is so good, but I think the other 2 songs kind of bring it down just a slight bit. The Wall, released in 1979. I mean, this album is just... It's... yeah. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. And it's long as well. It's a nice, long album. And then they made the movie as well. The movie's okay. I wouldn't say it's anything, like, incredible. But it's pretty good, though. Pretty sure this was the last album Richard Wright was on before he was fired by Roger Waters and then was brought back in a momentary lapse of reason. So, I think the final cut, which was released in 1983, only had 3 members. And then this is the last album that Roger Waters worked on. I'm pretty sure the final cut, a lot of the songs on here were actually songs that were supposed to be on the album, or like some of the songs were supposed to be on the Wall album, but didn't make it. Honestly, I'm not too big on this album. There's only probably about 2 or 3 songs on this album that I like. I like The Post-War Dream, The Final Cut, and Not Now John. The Gunner's Dream's okay, actually. But honestly, like, yeah, the rest aren't that good. Like, there's just... I think this problem, or I think the problem with this album is a lot of the songs build up and build up and build up and build up. Like, I don't know, like the song will be like 4 minutes long or whatever, and then for like 3 minutes 30 it will build up and then have about 30 seconds of the build up, and it's not even really worth it. I don't know, it's just a very mediocre album from Pink Floyd. Okay. Momentary Lapse of Reason, released in 1987. I did not like this album whatsoever. It's very 80s sounding synthesizers and whatnot. It's not timeless like every other Pink Floyd album. Not to say it's bad, but there was, honestly, like, this is the one album I don't listen to a single song on. Like, obviously I've heard all the songs, but all their other albums, I'll go back and listen to a song on it or whatever. And this one, there's nothing, honestly. Like, Sorrow is alright, and Learning to Fly, sometimes, like, I'll listen to it maybe like once a year, but honestly everything else I just couldn't get into this album. It just didn't sound like a Pink Floyd album to me. It was the first album without Roger Waters, which definitely affected the band, because, you know, they lost their main songwriter. However, the Division Bell, I actually really like. Really, really like. This is one of the other albums where you either really like it or you don't at all. And honestly, whatever they did, they definitely did something good, because honestly, I love this album. And to be completely honest, this should have been their last album. But then, of course, for some reason they made another one 20 years later. The Division Bell released in 1994. So, yeah. Honestly, like, majority of these songs I do like. There are some that I'm not too big into. I like the first one, Poles Apart, Marooned, Take It Back, Lost for Words, High Hopes. Like, yeah, there's quite a few songs on here that I do like, and it's just a very calming, relaxing sort of album. Like, it was Pink Floyd again. It just felt like Pink Floyd again. And yeah, honestly, that's why it's so high up. For some reason, people don't like this album, though. There are, like, some people out there that genuinely just hate this album. I don't know why, but I quite like it. Their last studio album, which was in 2014, The Endless River. It's okay. I definitely think it's better than A Momentary Lapse of Reason. It's an easy listen. I think I saw another video someone was making on the on the Pink Floyd albums, and when they got to The Endless River, they said like, the album just sounds like someone trying to I think they said it sounded like they were making music if it was like a Pink Floyd documentary or something like that. So similar to Pink Floyd, but not Pink Floyd. I don't mind the album, though. It's kind of cool to listen to, but all of the songs, except one, are instrumentals, which I don't mind. There's a lot of albums out there that are instrumentals the whole way through, like, whether it's game soundtracks or whatnot, or movie soundtracks or whatever, right? Like, or like movie scores that I'll listen to. And So yeah, I didn't really have a problem listening to this album as such, but it's definitely not anything crazy. And I think a lot of these songs were also stuff just left over from the Division Bell that for some reason they just released like 20 years later, which I'm unsure why. Like, I'm not sure why you'd even bother. The only song that does have words or lyrics is Louder Than Words, and it's just not that great. Like, their last album should have just been the Division Bell and just had High Hopes being their last song. Like, that was perfect, right? That would have perfectly ended their career. No more albums, or no more studio albums at least. But for some reason they made Endless River, and I don't mind listening to it. It's an easy listen, but yeah, I'm not actively going back and listening to it, and it sucks because a lot of the songs as well on this album are very, very short until sort of like the last like 3 or 4. Like everything's like under. I mean, the first 2 songs are 4 minutes and 6 minutes, but basically everything else is like under 2 minutes, which is kind of boring. So yeah, is that a fair ranking? I don't know. I quite like it. I know some people might put The Wall maybe slightly further down, or put Metal slightly up higher. Actually, just before we end the video, I am going to change one thing. Yeah. I personally think Metal is slightly better than Animals. So yeah. I think this is my final ranking. I think everything in this order is what I want to keep. So yeah, let me know your thoughts, and give me your rankings as well in the comments, because I would like to see what people think. And let me know if my ranking is good, if you like it, if you hate it, or if you think I should kill myself. Because you don't like it. No, but honestly, like, I want to hear your thoughts. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And definitely let me know if I should do another ranking, like do another tier list on something, whether it's music or it could be games or whatever. But I always wanted to do Pink Floyd one, because all-time favorite band. But you kind of have to do it for artists that have like a lot of albums. Like, there's a lot of artists out there that I do like, but they've only got like, you know, under 5 albums, and that's not really going to make a great video. So yeah, I don't know, let me know. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new, and let me know of some more videos I should do for the second channel. Wow, like, first time ever uploading to it, like a proper upload. So anyway, I will see you all in another one of my videos.